welcome everybody here to the Fight for Peace Heavyweight History. Arreola Stiverne, or Stiverne Arreola. ESPN, USCGalen Center, the trifecta. Heavyweight Championship, great campus, and great network. But before I say any more, I want to bring up, and for those of you who have heard Don speak throughout the years, you have a little idea why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And for those who have not heard Don speak throughout the years or at all, you're going to be listening to the greatest promoter that boxing has ever seen, Mr. Don King. Don.
First, let me say I'm very happy I am to be here at USC. This is the great school, and the university is where they bring people to learn, to be able to acknowledge what is happening in the scenes that are transpiring right before them and make things happen. So this is a fight for peace, and for peace, that means peace in the Middle East, you know what I mean, which I represent both Israel and Iran. And so it's a real thing to be able to do. And now you know that the Ukraine and Crimea is having problems, and Vitaly Klitschko is now running for president of the Ukraine, and the championship that he vacated is the one we're going to be fighting for. That is history. And so to be the first time that a Haitian will be a champion, or a Mexican American will be a champion, that will be history. And the major announcement today will be Revelations, in, I think it's chapter 9, verse 25 or something, say, I was blind. One thing I do know, I was blind, but now I see. So I'm going to have Stevie Wonder calling the blow by blow. So he'll be at ringside doing color for you. Also, another historic moment, you know. And so it's going to be an exciting card here because we're bringing the heavyweight championship back to America. And this is something that has been a sojourn that has been quite long. The predecessors have been fighting in Europe and Germany only, mostly. And so now you got an opportunity to bear witness to the return to glory, you know, in fighting for peace and the world's in a turmoil. So we're trying very, very, very hard to be able to deal with that. But we must always pay a great deal of respect to the vanguard of our nation, that is the military of this great nation called America. I talked to General Petraeus, and he's now working very hard in civilian life, but always keeps his mind on what's happening in the military. But we want to be able to invite some of the military, which we will do, and they will be here, the Wounded Warriors. And so we want to have a tremendous turnout in this great, great, great school and this great arena. Dan, you tell me this is a new arena, the Galen Hall Center?
USCGalen Center.
Yes, the Galen Center. And so we want to be able to fill it up and pay respect to this great nation and the vanguard of this nation who protects the liberties and freedoms that we enjoy. And say, you know, to them, you know, job well done. They are the greatest. They're ready all over the world, you know. This air assault, you know, with the 101, and so it makes me feel good to have an opportunity to be able to speak to you today and to say we're coming home, you know what I mean. And so the prodigal son returns home in the sport of boxing, and that is the heavyweight championship of the world. The slogan goes in boxing, as the heavyweights go, so goes boxing. Well, we've been kind of lost in the heavyweight division, and that's why you've had such a diminishing return in the field of boxing. Now is that return to glory will be creating the excitement again of yesteryear and bringing to the fore the greatest in boxing again. So we'll be going around the world. It'll be a revolutionary experience, and you've been blessed to bear witness to it here on May 10th, and it's going to be super sensational. And so I'm very excited about it myself, and I know that you are too, because this is a tremendous turnout. And you bear witness to the First Amendment, you know what I mean, the freedom of the press, you know, the right to protest, demonstrate, to be able to give your voice to the voice of those who are representative of us, being governed by the consent of the governed. And we're going to have a big, big turnout here with all the stars and everybody that's in Hollywood is going to be here because we're going to call them in and say, come on down and be a part of this evolutionary process. You got a great, great heavyweight fight here, two great champions. Both of these guys are fighting, and they're both very, very good. As you know, the comeback that Chris Arreola come with a startling knockout in the first round of Seth, you know what I mean, and so reestablished himself again, so he'll be ready to take on this guy from Haiti, you know, who is now American, a Haitian American. That was history on either side, and he's here to demonstrate that he truly is the champion, and that will be something, a sight to behold, and we all will recognize, realize, and appreciate that fact when we bear witness on May 10th, right here at this great University of Southern California. I'm excited about it. How about you? I can't say enough about ESPN. You know, way from the very beginning when ESPN started, they were friends of mine, but they became the foremost leader in sports televising for all of the different sports, but they lost track on the heavyweight division. Now they're back on track again thanks to Dave and Dave Brown, you know what I mean? Not John Brown, Dave Brown. But they both were fighters and pioneers in the revolution. And so really the true heroes of what we have and what we represent was the Browns. You know what I mean? So he has to be a descendant of John Brown because John Brown put up his life, his wife, his sons, all fighting for freedom and equality, you know, in spite of all of the different laws and codes that they were making to discriminate. John Brown was there, so he is truly a hero. And so now we have Dave Brown being his heroic mission, you know, bringing the heavyweight title back, you know, to America, not HBO, not Showtime, ESPN, you know what I mean? And that's what really makes it even more provocatively beautiful. There's going to be an excitement in the air that is second to none, and everyone can get ready because we are coming home. And it's going to be a battle royal to make this thing happen. The man standing, there is no loser in this fight. You know, whatever happens, you know what I mean, is going to be a champion established, but the heavyweights will be back. And then you'll see these young kids going into the gym and getting ready to be able to aspire to greatness. And that's what we really are working for, Dan and I. So it's a marvelous situation here. So you have two great camps here, and we want to be able to introduce these young men to you and have this edify this, because this is a revered moment. This is not like it's an ordinary fight. This is a heavyweight championship of the world. Is returning back home to Old Glory, the land of revolution, the one who established the words that are cosmic, that holds this nation together, that we boast freedom, liberty, and justice. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, among these which are of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So we boast that freedom, but we don't live and practice it. And so we got to be able to make that challenge rise to the occasion, as John F. Kennedy said in '63. You know, so we got to be able to make things happen, and we can do this by taking heavyweight boxing around the world as a world champion and as a world event to bring people together, and we find out under the skin we're all the same. You know, if you tickle me, we laugh. That's what this guy said in The Merchant of Venice. And if you scratch me, I bleed. You know, I get healed by the same medicines. In the winter, I'm cold. In the summer, I'm hot. You know what I mean? So why can't we be able to deal with what is real? And heavyweight boxing personifies that, you know what I mean? Man to man, el mano, if you speak Espanol. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a great affair. So I'm just excited. You know, so we want to be able to let everybody know that the young man that's going to rise to the occasion on this particular day of May 10th is going to be something kind of different, as we say in the vernacular of the ghetto, SKD, something kind of different. And so it's going to be a situation here that we're going to enjoy, but the main thing is for everybody to bear witness to these great fighters that is bringing this challenge back here to this great nation, and the two humble promoters that are just being supplicant, you know what I mean, to bring it to you, you know what I mean, and that's Dan Goossen and Goossen Tudor and Don King, you know what I mean, of Don King Productions. We are just the messengers. We are coming to tell you that a great happening is about to take place. something that is bigger and better than anything you've seen in years. And so we appeal to you to take it to your people, friend and foe alike, you know what I mean, that a happening is going to take place in the tide of this affair that will make things happen like never before. And where will you bear witness to it? Live and in living color here with the stars at this USC. Is the Galen Hall?
Galen Center, Don.
Galen Center, a hall to be renowned and to be emulated and imitated from henceforth and forevermore. And the man who's bringing that message is this guy that's sitting beside me, which I'm going to let him come up and say a few words, because hospitality starts at home and then it spreads abroad. We are ESPN, and no one could be prouder. And if you cannot hear us, we'll say it a little louder. Dave Brown, come here and welcome us to this greatest network on earth.
Don, thank you very much. Thank you for the connection to John Brown. That's something I was unaware that I had, but I'm going to run over to my iPad after the press conference and see if it's true, so we'll figure that out. But seriously, on behalf of our entire ESPN boxing team, it is a real pleasure for us to be a part of this announcement today. This announcement for us on the boxing front does represent something kind of different in terms of our coverage. We don't cover very many championship fights of this magnitude, but we have a proud tradition in this sport that dates back to 1980, and Dan and Don have been with us all the way, and we really look forward to showcasing this event, and we think this really represents the next evolution in our coverage of the great sport of boxing. We certainly have plenty of expertise at doing events at USC. We cover so many great football games here and with the Trojans, obviously Galen Center on the basketball front, so this is a real home for us as well, and we're really, really excited to be a part of it. Our coverage will be led by Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas, who I think will really bring their incredible expertise and knowledge to the telecast, and they know boxing better than anybody, and they will really, really do a terrific job for us. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Dan, and I just want to thank both of these guys for making us part of this event today. We're really, really excited about it.
Thank you, Dave. And you know, Teddy Atlas is a genius. You know, he's the guy that was there right from the beginning with Mike Tyson. You know, we may even bring Mike Tyson out of retirement. You know what I mean? Give the old guys a chance. You know, have a senior tour. You know what I mean, with him and Holyfield and all the rest of them, when they come out and bring all the fans back of yesteryear and bring them back in today and get these youngsters and the ones that were getting excited and enthused about this situation and make it happen. So what we want to do now is to get Dan up here, and Dan can introduce his side, and I don't mean that I'll introduce my side, and let the wars begin, let the games begin. But this is one war that can have a return match. That's the difference in what we're doing when we say fight for peace. When we fight here, we can say at the end of the day, we can hug and embrace and say, good fight, you know, we'll see you next time. But when you use the bomb, the club, the knife, you know what I mean, you don't have return matches then, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You have whatever it is, and Doug Curran, he knows that more, you know, readily than him. He's a terrific writer sitting there say, do you remember me? How can you forget somebody like Doug? You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. But however, there's so many faces and so many familiar faces and things here that we're so excited about. It's like a family reunion. We need the OJs to be singing a family reunion and get them all here. In fact, we'll have the OJs out here, you know what I mean? So we're going to call in a lot of chits on all of the stars with Michael Douglas and all of them to be here at ringside so that their fans can be able to bear witness to them and how they're doing, because he had a little illness too. And we want to make everybody know that we are bringing heavyweight boxing championship back to America, and no fitting and better place to do it is than this Galen Center. And so, Dan, come on up and introduce your side. You know what I mean? And we're co-promoting this thing together, Dan and I. You know what I mean? And I love Dan. He's a nice guy.
Don, you left something here.
Yes.
Also, you left me speechless. You were reading off of my damn teleprompter. What am I going to say now? Well, before we get to Dave and his John Brown relatives, I wanted to bring up a man that was very instrumental in carrying the baton right here at USC to make this a reality. And what is that noise I'm hearing? Okay.
Those are the aliens. Yeah, they're going to tune in too. The
Yeah,
aliens
I mean, I gotta.
They're up in the sky now.
I feel like I'm buzzing up here or something. The man that really carried this out from USC's end is the assistant athletic director and the general manager of the USCGalen Center, Carl Reed. I'd like to bring him up and let him say a few words. Carl. Oh, there you are. You got to give him a bigger applause than that. It's USC.
Well, thank you. First and foremost, on behalf of the University of Southern California, I'd like to welcome you guys to Bischoff Lounge inside of Heritage Hall, the home of the USC Trojans Athletic Department. I first had a chance to talk with Dan late last spring, and from my initial conversations with Dan, he was excited about the Galen Center, wanted to make sure we brought boxing back here to Los Angeles, to the Galen Center. And so we worked hard over the past nearly 7-8 months to try to get various different events in here. And so Dan called me a couple months ago and he said, hey, I know your dates are a little tight, but what about this date? I said, it's available. He's like, are you kidding? I'm like, no, it's available. He's like, book it. We're going to try to get this heavyweight championship match. And then over the past few weeks, we worked closely to make that happen. I want to say that we are very excited to be part of history, to bringing boxing to the university, and having it being broadcast on ESPN. We've worked very close with ESPN, with our football games, with their basketball games, and actually we've done a few volleyball matches as well. So we're excited. We will make sure the Galen Center is a top-notch venue when everyone arrives on May the 10th. It's up to both of our fighters to make sure we have a top-notch event inside the ring. So once again, on behalf of the University of Southern California, we're excited to be hosting this event, and fight on.
Well, you know, it's and just to touch a little on what Carl said, as everyone knows out here, I mean, this fight was going in a lot of different places, and there were a lot of different options on the table. And I got to hand it to Don and Bermane and his manager Camille that they were willing to come out here to California. And I think the reception that we've received today is a testament that we chose the right place and the right arena to be able to have hosting this beautiful heavyweight championship of the world. And for good reason. I mean, they were treated very well, I believe, last time they were in California, and certainly had no reason to do anything other than maximize what I think is going to be a sold-out house over at USC. What is it, Hall, Don? Or
it's the center, Dan.
Center.
Center,
I knew it was something like that.
They're all the same. They come house the people, and we ain't got enough room. We need 10,000 more seats.
Look, we can do it closed circuit in Heritage Hall.
This is a beautiful university.
Yes, it is.
I run around an hour trying to get here.
Yeah.
Each one sent me to a different gate.
Well, you just better hope your car is here by the time you get out of here.
Oh, no, they're honest.
I also want to thank Corona, one of the main sponsors of ESPN, who was very helpful in getting this fight on ESPN, and also Brent's Deli, Ron Peskin, who's right over here. How did you guys like the deli today? Huh? Forget deli next time if that's the tepid applause we're going to get, okay? Of course it was great. And there are a few people that I do want to thank from ESPN also, other than Dave, and that's Brian Queter, who, much like Carl Reed with USC, was the conduit to really get together with all of his executives and make this a reality, which I think having this on ESPN, which is the worldwide leader of sports, is just a tremendous boost for not only boxing, but for the viewers and the fans out there. We got 100 million homes plus out there in ESPN land, and a lot more people are going to have the opportunity to see this fight. And I know that the guys from John Wildhack, Norby Williamson, they were all a big part in getting this thing together and make it a reality. So, Don, It's our job to go out there now and make sure everyone in the world, all 100 million of them that have ESPN, watch it Saturday, May 10th. You don't say anything, Don?
Well,
You left me hanging.
No,
Yeah.
you just 100. You said 100 million. I'm thinking about 2 or 3 billion. But nevertheless, the 100 million is on ESPN.
I only said the U.S.
We want to get some billions in there looking at this here thing, and then they can become subscribers to ESPN.
Now, how would you like?
What I mean?
How would you like it if I left you hanging now and didn't say anything?
Well, that's the usual thing for us,
I also want to now bring up the young man all the way down at the left, the trainer. He's been the trainer for Chris Arreola since the beginning. Before I get to bringing Henry up here, I do want to acknowledge Chris's manager, and that is Al Heyman, who couldn't make it here today. He's out of town, but certainly this is a big opportunity for the Arreola camp. I want to bring up his trainer, Henry Ramirez. Henry.
Thanks everybody for being here. Obviously, a fight of this magnitude, coming to Southern California, it means a lot to us personally. It's a second chance for Chris to make history here in his hometown, and he's definitely going to come through. I do want to also thank Al Heyman, the Goossen tutor staff. I know I was calling Dan every day when I would read stuff. Hey, this fight's going here, it's going there, and it's just finally glad to have a date, a venue. I know Don House is going to have Bermane prepared. I'm going to have Chris prepared. And like they said, this is a historical fight. It's a fight where it's a new era. The Klitschko era is coming to an end. Vitaly's moved on to, more important things in life. And I think Vladimir's days are numbered also. And I believe on May 10th, there is going to be the first ever Mexican-American heavyweight champion.
That's what dreams are made of, wishful thinking. And that's what makes America so great, because we have the dream, you know what I mean? We have to try to make that dream come to be true, you know what I mean? So dreaming is really a great part of all of it. That's what the prophecies always say. And being able to deal with the prophecies rather than trying to deal with fact and say why this, that, or the other. You deal with what is real, You deal with your dream if you can make your dream come true. So that was very good. And it was quite stimulating, But let me say this here on this side. I got a guy that's a sponsor too. That's a nice young man, very handsome. He's standing over there listening and waiting. And it's eventus, that's a Greek word, I think, for events and things that's happening. And they're working with me to try to bring different things together for the worldwide review for the leader in sports televising is ESPN, and so we want to enhance their viewing audience there. What I was trying to tell Dan, 100 million is minuscule. We want to be able to bring that to quadruple, 400 million. And we're going until we can get ESPN up to $1 billion, So the thing is, wherever it comes from the signal of ESPN. So if we can get to the $1 billion that I've done, 1 billion viewers that I've done a few times in my career, then we have something that we'll be able to talk about and shout about and to be able to make things happen. So I'm going to talk to Bob Iger about that and see how we can make these things happen. I'm very excited, but we couldn't have this with a guy I'm about to introduce to you after I introduce my sponsor, that we're talking and trying to make things happen, and he's excited and I'm excited, But he's standing over there. That's Daniel. That's old Daniel Gostris, Yeah, Daniel. He only thinks in large things, nothing small, because he realized that, you have to, crawl before you walk and walk before you run, But he said it's the jet age, Even though you have to go through those tedious details of crawling and walking, when he goes into the jet age and then to the nuclear age, it's altogether different. So everything he does is really big on what he's really working with me on, and we're going to try to bring it into so we can share it with you. But Eventus is going to be a sponsor here too, and we are really happy and excited about it. And it means innovatively. something new, something that you imagine. You know, there's nothing impossible. It just hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? And so when we be able to deal, as Dan did the inimitable job of bringing this fight here with the great USC, it's the thing of snatching victory out of the jaws of defeat. You know what I mean? When all is weary and everybody is downtrodden and feeling that they was distraught and they can't rise to the occasion, those who have faith and abiding faith will change that. They will make the mountain move, you know, in the twinkling of an eye. So this is what we have done, and I'm so happy that I have Eventus that's going to be with us with this dynamic, innovative, imaginative mind of making events, and dealing with geometric progression rather than just 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 2 is 22, and it grows to 44 and 68, you know what I mean, and on, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm just happy. Thank you so much, Daniel. You know what I mean? You know, and it's, when you say Daniel, you have to feel good because Daniel is the great prophet, you know what I mean, that was in the fall of Babylon, you know what I mean, and dealing how it was and how he could prognosticate and speculate, not by just dreaming, by being involved spiritually, you know what I mean, and the Lord and Savior would give him the word, so it was not a dream, it was seen that it had to have happened. But this is what has happened here when we got this young man here from Montreal, Canada. He's a terrific individual. He's a Lebanese. You know what I mean? That just shows you, no matter what the title may be of what may be, it is what people have in their hearts and their minds and their character, and not the pigmentation of their skin. But the idea of it is he's terrific. He made things happen when we had the darkest hour. You know what I mean? He emulated and imitated Churchill when he said, you know, you fight him on the beach, you see, you fight him in the air. You know what I mean? You fight him at sea, but he shall never, never surrender. You know what I mean? That's what this young man did. And I want to bring him up. He's the manager of that terrific fighter sitting here from Haiti. You know what I mean? And the president of Haiti and all of them are there. They're all standing by, you know, the Secretary of State. Everybody's going to be here. This is going to be a great international affair. And so, but let me bring up Camille Estefan. Come on, Camille. This is a great man, and a great deal of thanks goes to him that we can have this press conference today. Thank you, Camille.
Thank you.
Ah, ça va bien.
Hello, everyone. Needless to say, the stakes are high. It's been a long, long time coming. We worked very, very hard to make sure Bermane is where he's at today. It took a lot of heart, it took a lot of guts, and this is what it's all about. What you're about to see is not only history in the making. I truly believe these are the two best heavyweights in the world today that are about to fight again. It's a sequel. The first fight was a fantastic fight. Well, I haven't seen too many tougher people than Chris Arreola, so I have to tell you, this was quite impressive.
Seth Mitchell.
But we plan to take this home. I mean, we're very focused. It's the green belt. That's all we want. We're very confident. We're working very hard. We're paying our dues, like we always have for years. And they're the top two heavyweights. You're going to have a fantastic show. There's a lot of theater going on with other heavyweights out there. I don't want to mention names, but you know who I'm talking about. And this is where the real deal is. I want to congratulate Don as well and Victor Vergotsky, Don House and Victor Vergotsky, who have been Bermane's coaches from day one through thick and thin with all the difficulties we've had. All the best to Vitaly with what he's doing with Ukraine, which is quite considerable for the humankind. Very happy for him to be recognized as a politician now, but we did wait a long, long time for that decision to happen. So I think America deserves this heavyweight fight. Thank you to ESPN for bringing it to all these residences and stepping up to the plate, and for the state of California to have us. Great hospitality. We'll make a great show out of this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. And now the man that's there is right here that's going to come back and pay a response to the dynamic trainer of Chris Arreola. Come on up here. Come on, man. Come on. I want you to be star-studded, baby. You know what I mean? I want everybody to bear witness to this because, like I said, it ain't no loser. But this is the most important fight for this side to win so that we can take the heavyweight around the thing, and then we'll give him another chance, later. You know what I mean? Because we don't want nothing, no discrimination. We don't want to do none of that. Give everybody opportunity in the land of opportunity. But we got to be prepared. You know what I mean? You prepare, to succeed, or you prepare to fail. Here's the man that's in the preparation business, and he's doing it to death. Talk to him, baby.
Thank you, King. USC.
Yes.
ESPN.
Yes.
Goossen.
Hey!
King. Henry.
Hey!
My man Chris.
Yes, sir.
Of course, our team. May 10th. Actually, I thought the fight was in June, so, Brown, we got to get ready. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. It's going to be an exciting fight. I'm looking forward to this. I know Henry's doing a great job over there with Chris. To me, Chris has always been one of my idols, always been one of the toughest guys on the market. When they said we was going to fight Chris again, I went, oh, shit, not him. I mean, I would rather fight both the brothers, the Christopher brothers, to fight this guy again. But you know what? We got to do what we got to do. This will be a great fight. I'm very, very looking forward to it. I'm sure their team are too. We've been preparing. We're hungry. We're mean. We everything that a fighter needs to be to win this title. I mean, May 10th, come out. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Danny boy. Come on up here, Danny boy.
But not another applause. I also want to, and Don, I can't believe you're making me do this, okay? But I'm more than willing. Let me see, right here. No, that's not the flag I want. I want to thank the WBC, World Boxing Council, out of Mexico. The recent passing of Jose Suleiman, I know it was one of his dreams to see a Mexican that could eventually win the heavyweight championship of the world. All the years that we've had the great heavyweights, 100+ years, and all the great champions, never ever one from Mexican descent, or in Bermane's case, Haitian descent. So a big thank you to Jose, who recently passed away, and his son Mauricio, who's now representing the WBC as its president. And the supervisor here today is Dr. Robert Carnes, who was a former physician at ringside. Doc, good having you here. One other introduction I want to make. You had Daniel, okay, which probably just came out of the lion's den, from what I can see.
Absolutely.
Daniel, that's my name too.
Absolutely,
okay.
yes.
But I wanted to introduce a young man who we recently signed, just had a fight on ESPN last Friday, came out victorious, one of the top 154-pounders in the world, Vanis Maritrosyan. So now we get to the fighters, which is always the best part, since you don't want to listen to me. Don, you want to listen to. I've been listening to him for 30 years, and always interesting to hear Don. But where the real action is are the fighters, the athletes. And there's, in my 30+ years, I've had a lot of tough guys out there. And we heard it a little while ago with Bermane's manager, how tough Chris Arreola is. And the one drawback that we've always had with Chris to get to that mountaintop was the mindset of doing everything it would take to win that fight. Now, when he gets inside that ring, despite what he does outside of it, he gives that attitude to do everything it takes to win that fight. The problem is he's had a tendency throughout the years not to give himself the best shot at doing it by not being in the best shape of his life. And that goes back many years, many, many years. And we don't have to talk about it here any longer because the press know it here. But Don keeps on mentioning Seth Mitchell. And the reason why that fight was so well handled by Chris, because it was the first time in many, many years he went to a training camp out in Arizona, and it did him well. I mean, there's something to say about an athlete, a businessman, anybody who knows that in his mind he did everything it took to accomplish what he was trying to get accomplished. And now having Chris in San Diego, he could sit here and tell you that he's going to be in shape as he has throughout the years. Didn't really mean much. Sitting here telling you he's going to be in shape now and train like a world-class athlete, you're going to be able to believe him. It won't be hyperbole. It won't be a sales pitch. It's going to be something that he knows what he has to do to beat Bermane Stiverne May 10th at USCGalen Center. So from that instant, when you have the toughness and the guts and the willpower and the mindset to overcome anything that is in your way on May 10th, with the conditioning behind it, nothing will stop Chris Arreola on May 10th. We've got to go out there, train hard, and win this fight, and bring that championship right here to California in the United States of America on ESPN here at the USCGalen Center. I want to bring up the nightmare, Chris Arreola. Chris.
How's everybody doing? First of all, I want to thank everybody for being out here. ESPN, the worldwide network of sports. We're going to be showcasing heavyweights, again, where we belong. You know, no more MMA. We don't need to be watching that. We're boxers. Boxing's a sport that's been around for years and years and years. I want to thank Dan, Goossen, and Don King to finally getting a date together. I'm ready for this fight. I've been waiting for this fight right after I got out that ring, got my ass kicked by Bermane Stiverne. There's nothing to say. I'm not going to blame my conditioning, nothing like that. I got caught by a punch that I didn't see coming. And that's what happens when you fight a world-class athlete like Bermane Stiverne. I should have been my P's and Q's the whole time, but I wasn't, got caught. It is what it is. He beat my butt. Now, that being said, my nose was broken after the third round. I was wounded. I was easy. I should have been out of that fight. Any round after that, he should have stopped me. Personally, I'm not that kind of a fighter. If I see someone wounded, I see someone hurt, I'm taking his ass out. That's my intention to do on May 10th is to do to him what he did to me. I respect him. I respect him a lot. I could shake his hand right now, shake his hand after the fight. We're gentlemen. But in the ring, I don't like him. That's the way it is. I respect him. I'm not going to like him in the ring. He's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. I guarantee you May 10th, I'm going to come out with my hand raised. Hope you guys enjoy the fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Dan had a soliloquy that was just above and beyond the call of duty. You know, and so he leaves us with a question as to which Chris do we believe? It's a very, this is what makes it, this is what you call pragmatism. This is realism. This is what people do, you know what I mean? Because that's how they work, you know what I mean? And I respect Chris Arreola very, very much, and he proved that he's a great fighter. And for whatever the mistakes and whatever that transpired in that first encounter, that you have to understand is what athleticism is about. When people go in there, in boxing, when you go in that ring, you can't call timeout and send in a substitute. If you run out of petrol, there's no gas station in sight. You cannot procrastinate. That's why boxing is so much like life. You can't put your problems off to tomorrow. Your problem is right there before you. And you must deal with it, you know, and you have to deal with it in a manner that is immediately, you know, something, if you speak Espanol, inmediatamente. You got to be able to, you ain't got no time to be saying, put it off to tomorrow, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? You got to be able to deal with what is real, because boxing is the closest thing to life that you'll ever see. You get knocked down, you get back up, you dust yourself off and get back into the game. And so this is what makes heavyweight boxing so renowned. And either way, this fight is going to be a fight. And that you can see from what Chris is doing, whatever he changed in his ways, reconnoiter the area and deploy his forces and attack again. But he's going up against a young Tyson, so to speak, because you haven't seen a fraction of what this man represents here. You know what I mean? And so it is, Bermane is an individual that works very hard, got a great team, and he's getting himself together, and truly, you know what I mean, it's going to be such a wonderful fight. The slogan that really stimulates the magical words of boxing is, when is the next one? That is when you know you have a show when they can come to the promoter and go out and they go talking to each other, the fans, because that's really what it's all about. It's giving the fans what they want, and they will respond. They will get a fight this time, and it will be a pure six knockdown brawl, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you will have a new champion of the world. And when he spoke about Jose Sulaiman is smiling now from heaven, because he was dedicated and committed to being able to keep the WBC in the forefront as the largest and the best organization in the world. And we're going to give him a 10-bell count on this fight, paying homage to this memory of this great man for boxing from the WBC. And his son, Mauricio Sulaiman, is the president now of the WBC. So all will be done proud. But rest assured, you know what I mean, fight. You can never tell in the heavyweight fight if anybody get hit or don't get hit or whatever happens, you know, anything can happen. But I would say, in the looking at Bermane and the way that he has handled himself and how he's growing, the evolutionary process gives Chris two great chances, Slim and none. And Slim's out of town. So you got to be able to understand, but the gratification, superb. You know what I mean? The excitement in the air, unparalleled. You know what I mean? The anticipation, you know, bated breath. You know what I mean? But in the end result, the champion of the world and the new heavyweight champion of the world, Bermane Stiverne. You know what I mean? Come on up, champ. Come on up, champ. Oh, yes, Eventus, hear my cry. Victory. Victory is ours, Eventus. Yes, Daniel was in the lion's den, he came out. Jonah's in the belly of the whale. Talk to him, baby. Oh, yes, Ken, you're one of them. Oh,
it's a pleasure to be here once again in California. What can I say? Well, first of all, I want to thank a special thank you to ESPN. That's actually my first time being involved with the network. I've been involved with other networks, but not ESPN. So thank you to Dan Goossen, DKP, my manager, Camille, House, my trainer, Victor, the whole team. Listen, May 10th, I will be crowned the heavyweight champion of the world.
How long? Not long.
It's not about shape. It's about skills. I have better skills, and I'm always in shape. I don't have anything personal against Chris. I do think that the best heavyweight out there today is Chris and I. This fight won't be, what's the word?
Theater.
No.
Won't be the same result.
No, what we saw?
I'm searching everywhere.
It was,
Hey, look. Hold on.
anyway, some funny fights that happened a while ago. And it won't be choreographed.
Not a choreo.
This is going to be a real fight, you know. I will be crowned heavyweight champion. It won't be, I'm not saying that I'm going to walk over Chris easily or a walk in the park. It's going to be hard because I know what Chris going to bring to the table. I've been watching Chris since ever, you know. So it's going to be a good fight. And I'm really happy that we'll be able to bring that type of fight for the fans, unlike other fights. I got nothing else to say. I mean, this is it. This is the biggest crown in sport history. We're talking about the heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. You know, my mind is set. My body is set. The only thing we got to wait now is the date to come. And May 10 is going to be a great night. It's going to be a fantastic night, and I can't wait to be crowned the heavyweight champion of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Bermane. That's what it's going to be, the heavyweight championship of the world.
I know that they want to know how much those tickets are, okay?
Yes, very moderately priced.
Very.
Very.
300, 200, 100, 50, and 25.